Okay, I'm going to actually give you two things in this one video because I have been promising you guys the video about the Atlantean download I received one Sunday morning while lying in bed. Literally had just woken up and all of a sudden all this information started coming in, and I want to share that with you. But I also want to share something else that's been kind of going on, information I think might be really helpful to you. There's a bit of a timeline conundrum occurring right now within our personal lives and within, I kind of want to say the collective, only because of what we're seeing happening on the world stage. A lot of times things like this happen when we're starting to make progress, and this just kind of pulls us back. Well, when you're personally getting ready to maybe shift your timeline, move into one that is more supportive of a lot of the healing work that you've been doing, some of the better choices that you've been making, what will happen is you will experience, oftentimes through other people approaching you, coming to you. Maybe it's people from the past, maybe it's people you haven't dealt with in a while, maybe they're exes, I don't know, but people will kind of try to shake things up for you. And this often happens as you're making your way into another timeline and you're kind of in that transition phase, right? And it's just like, it's kind of like a timeline disruptor, so to speak. And that's kind of happening with the last new moon Libra eclipse that we just had, and as well as the Taurus eclipse we're going to have in 2 days. Libra is really representative of a lot of our relationships, our one-to-one relationships, contracts, and it was on the South Node, so a lot of things from our past, things that weren't good for us, really kind of coming up, but we were choosing something new, right? It was a solar eclipse, it was a new moon. You're choosing something new. And this time period seems to be where a lot of people have been doing a lot of deeper work, a lot of your own healing, and it feels to me like many of you are making new choices for yourself. You're shifting your life in different ways than you've ever really shifted it before. And what's happening is every time you're about to make a timeline shift, something from the timeline you're trying to move out of just comes in to disrupt your flow, maybe slow you down, maybe keep you back. It's like there's certain choices that would be more comfortable or the usual that are trying to pull on those strings so that you can kind of give your energy back to it, because your energy is now starting to go into a place where that old energy isn't going to be able to really engage with you. And so we've got a little bit of a timeline conundrum going on right now. It's really important that you be very careful and very mindful of where you're putting your energy into. And if it's people from the past coming in, like really just check in with yourself. Is this engagement going to be helpful to me, or is this engagement going to be harmful to me? Does this support my higher timeline in a lot of the choices where I'm leading, or does this actually take away from that? And these are important questions to be asking yourself right now. In this eclipse season, there's a lot of fated events and things can kind of come in that can really shake things up. So eclipses always bring change, without a doubt. But as you're starting to make changes for the better for yourself, the old things that don't want you to change or are a lot more comfortable with you being there with them are going to want you to stay. So just keep in mind that as you level up, there are certain things you're saying no to, right? When you start saying yes to newer things, eventually you're going to have to say no to some other things that don't support it. So there's this timeline shakeup happening. So just be wary of that. So on to the Atlantean download. And before I get into the Atlantean download, I just want to say, if you're interested in coming to my Awakening the Mystic online event that is being held this Saturday, you can still get your ticket. It will be recorded for those of you who can't make it and you already have a ticket. The journey that I'm going to be taking you on is really deep and really, well, it's for sure mystical, but we're going to be activating the mystic within you through Atlantean temples, as well as accessing Akashic records. So you don't want to miss it. Link is in the description below. All right, so Atlantean download. A couple of weeks ago, I was lying in bed Sunday morning, just lying there, and all of this information just started flooding in. And I know that this is a this is a polarizing topic, okay? So just take it with a grain of salt. If something doesn't resonate with you, I'm just going to tell you, just let it go. But this is the information that I've been receiving. We are moving very quickly into newer territory as our civilization has seen in a very, very long time, like thousands of years, okay? Now, when we think back to Atlantean times, Atlantean civilization, the people then had incredible technologies. A lot of it was off-world technologies, but it was highly more advanced than what we have right now. However, we are quickly moving in back to that direction. So as you know, we're going through this cycle, right? We're starting to move into the golden age, coming out of the dark ages. And so this is going to continuously get quicker and deeper and faster. So I was given this message that there are many narratives out there that are trying to instill fear within you around AI. And that's not to say that AI can't do wrong, okay? There are a lot of negative uses that can happen with AI. I'm not even going to sit here and try to tell you differently, okay? But the problem is that if you have fear about the AI, you're going to create a reality where you need to fear the AI. And so using your intention as a highly evolved spiritual being here in this meat suit, you start to use the AI with a much higher intention, one that actually helps with evolution, not just for yourself, but for the AI, for everyone else who's going to be using it. Back in Atlantean times, this was very common, and by denying your ability to use the newer technologies and advancements that are coming in, and they're going to continue to flow in, you're actually shutting down the part of you that knew how to use those technologies. It can be very activating for you by using and engaging technology as we move forward. With Pluto getting ready to go back into Aquarius in January, for the next 20 years, we're going to see a continuous evolution of very Aquarian themes, transformations, which are very much AI would be it because it's technology, right? Technology, anything to do with social humanity advancement. And so I just want to let you guys know that it's so important that you don't get left behind. I think a lot of people are going to allow their fear to prevent them from actually being able to move forward and use the technology now to actually better your life and your work in the future. So knowing this, it's also connected to the parts of you that are still connected back to Atlantis. So you can actually activate parts of yourself by getting deeper into the technology, learning how to use it for good, learning how to teach it. There's just so many things there. And so I think it's so important that we don't get too caught up in other people's desires to make you scared of something that obviously can be used for bad. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Anything can be used for bad. It's how we as a collective start choosing to create the reality with it. And it's so important that you don't allow other people's wills and wishes to interfere with your own evolution and progression here. So that's all I wanted to say about that. It's kind of short, sweet, but I think you get the gist of it. Don't allow the fear narratives to prevent you from learning something, because if you fear something and you don't know how to use it, like, you're a sitting duck, okay? But if you know how to use something and there's something down the road that you don't like that happens, you know how to navigate it a lot better than if you had never known how to use it in the first place. So take the time to learn this stuff and let your human spirit start to engage. It's so important that you be in the driver's seat of your own future. And when we don't engage with something or learn what's good, what's bad, then you don't have enough awareness or tools to know how to navigate the problem when it arises, if a problem does arise. And this is actually a well-known fact. I mean, this is why through the ages of times, this is why the royals and the people who were in higher society never allowed the people who were just like the peons, okay, get access to a library and learn for themselves and teach themselves. Come on, guys, don't allow yourself to be scared of something just because someone told you it's bad. Like, that there's going to be negative problems that we're going to face. Well, if you don't know how to use it, then you certainly won't be part of the solution if that does occur. And again, there's always two sides to the coin. And when this reality of duality, it's so important that you know both. And so all I would say to you is just be mindful of all the different narratives out there. You know, even the ones that are like, oh my God, this is going to change the world, it's going to be so amazing, to like, oh my God, this is going to ruin humanity. Okay, like, find your neutral place, see what's good, see what works. Okay, there are different ways to explore it, but know that there are certain parts of your Atlantean remembrance that will be activated as you engage more and more with technology. And so this is something really important, because I do see that even before AI, a lot of people in the spiritual community are scared of computers, or scared how to learn how to do this or that, you know. And it's like, I understand that not everything is going to be everyone's niche, right? It's not going to be your shtick. But you want to learn some things. You don't want to feel in fear of something, or like it's to the point where you're like, I'm just not even going to figure it out. Like, this is where our world is moving. And if you don't move with it, you get left behind. And there are going to be a loss of different jobs as this does come up. That is going to be a given. But you can also see that there are going to be a lot of jobs that are created from this. And they're actually, if you're on the ground floor of how this is all coming out, then you're going to know how to position yourself and use it in whatever it is that you're doing to make a difference in this world, to support yourself. So just be mindful of those really fear-based narratives out there, because it's really disempowering you from choosing how to, one, get the wisdom and knowledge to learn how something actually works, so that if there is a problem down the road, you might even be able to be part of the solution. You'll know how to navigate it. And again, I also want to reiterate, our intention is so important. Those of us who have been doing more healing and are evolving our state of consciousness actually resonate at a higher level. And that means you can affect more things just by being you and doing the things that you do. You can neutralize a lot of the negativity. And so by allowing your intention and your goodwill to go into something that is being created right now, you get to be part of that imprint. You get to be steering that ship in some way. You want to have, even if it's just your pinky finger on the steering wheel. Okay? So I just wanted to say that because I think it's important. And I just hate seeing the manipulation that disempowers people. And I get it. You know, there's a lot of narratives out there. There's a lot of narratives. But at the end of the day, stay in your lane, focus on you, and see what works for you and what could support you. And use your goodwill to go into to what's being created now, so that we do have a better future. All right. I love you guys so much. If you need any sessions, healing, all the links are in the description below. And again, I'd love to see you at the Awaken the Mystic online event this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, just hours before the Taurus eclipse. I love you guys. Have an incredible evening.